So I wanted to make a video about this the second after I laughed out loud seeing Max Pacioretty get traded from Vegas to Carolina for future considerations. But I was on vacation. I said, you know what? I'm going to hold off on this one. I'll talk about it when I come back. But now, I've made a couple of these. I want to make a series of this now. Okay, of teams who stole good players from other teams, fleecings and steals. Let me know in the comments down below. You guys know I'm reading them. What other examples are there? I've done Toffoli. Okay, I've done Toffoli twice in this, I guess we'll call it a series now. And now we're talking about this one. Teams who stole players, highway robberies here. But now, man, does this Nick Suzuki trade look like an absolute steal for the Montreal Canadiens. Even more embarrassing now that Pacioretty's a hurricane for nothing. Okay, so let's get into it here. So the reason this trade looks so bad, and look, I know immediately a bunch of people are going to point to Max Pacioretty's contributions with the Golden Knights and say, you know what, this guy was actually very good with the Vegas Golden Knights, and that's true. Okay, like, I can't deny that the guy had some very good seasons. He played 4 years with the Golden Knights, and 2 20-goal seasons, 3 actually if you count his 30-goal, 1 30-goal season, and then in 39 games this past season, 19 goals. And in the playoffs, he was a very good performer. Okay, so I'll give you that. But his longest playoff run was in 2019-20, 16 games, 8 points there. Okay, so he went on a couple of semi-deep runs with the Vegas Golden Knights. I still think that Nick Suzuki was an absolute steal, because could you imagine right now Nick Suzuki being in the Vegas Golden Knights lineup? Would he be, he'd probably be behind Jack Eichel, but he'd be definitely one of the best second-line centers in the NHL with a bunch of room to grow, and he was drafted by the Golden Knights. It's not like it was a first-round pick that Montreal went out and picked Suzuki. They straight up traded Nick Suzuki after drafting him to the Montreal Canadiens, and the reason this looks bad to me is because the only thing that went back to Vegas was Max Pacioretty. And although he had decent seasons and some... Actually, you know what? I'll go that way. I'll say he had very good seasons with Vegas. That's what makes this look bad, is he was the only thing going back to Vegas. But Suzuki wasn't the only thing going back to Montreal. Could you imagine, even if it was Pacioretty for Suzuki 1-for-1, to me that's still an absolute steal for the Montreal Canadiens. This guy's signed long-term, #1 center for the next decade is Nick Suzuki here for the Montreal Canadiens. So that in itself would be a steal. But we've talked about this before. They also got Thomas Tatar, who they got very good production from while he was a Montreal Canadian. He was the leading scorer of the team one of the years as well. So look at that, at what you will. And then they also get a second-round pick from that trade. And guess who they turned into? Defensive prospects Mattias Norlinder, who's, I wouldn't say the #1, but he's definitely in the top tier of defensive prospects in the organization, and Jacob Laguerriere. So, to me, that in itself, Norlinder, there's a logjam there in that Habs defensive prospect pool, so we'll see what happens there. He might get traded, that Norlinder, but I'm sure a team will value him, and they could trade him for something good. So this trade just keeps getting better and better for the Montreal Canadiens. And unless future considerations turns into something really good, like if future considerations ends up being Sebastian Aho, which definitely won't, bet on that, this just doesn't look good for the Vegas Golden Knights here. And Suzuki just keeps making this look worse and worse for the Vegas Golden Knights. And again, I wouldn't be on this so much if Pacioretty didn't just get traded for future considerations to Carolina. Again, we'll see what that turns out, because Pacioretty's valuable. Okay, like definitely a guy who can score 20 for you every single year, and on a good team score 30, which he will be in Carolina. That's a good piece. So we'll see what Vegas ends up getting back for that, but it might also just be a cap dump. It might also just be like, hey, we had half our roster on LTIR so we could get Mark Stone signed, we could get Jack Eichel and these types of guys here. We just have to dump Pacioretty for basically nothing. It could very well be that. And Suzuki is going to be out here killing it for the Montreal Canadiens. A lot of people, I might make a video about this too. I'm seeing some people saying Suzuki is one of the most overrated players in Canada. If you think that, give your head a shake. The game's not just about scoring goals, okay? It's about playing 200 feet. And Suzuki does that at such a young age. And I haven't even mentioned the off-ice. You guys know how high I am on Nick Suzuki. I love the kid. I think he's amazing. I think he would be an incredible captain for that organization. And I think that the Habs have an absolute gem in Nick Suzuki there, and they should do everything they can to hold on to him. Oh wait, they signed him for like 8 years. He's going to be fine, and he's going to be a Hab for a long time. And man, was this an absolute steal for the Habs. I can't say it enough. And that's exciting to me to be able to have a series where I could talk about other steals like this. And maybe I'll expand to other teams as well, but the Habs ones are the most interesting to me. To me, that's one of the biggest gifts Marc Bergevin ever gave to the Montreal Canadiens, was swapping Pacioretty for Suzuki. And it just puts a smile on my face every time I see it. And that juicy playoff series between the Golden Knights and the Habs last year, where Pacioretty was booed by the Montreal faithful. There was 2,500, like 2,500 fans in that building, and it sounded like 25,000 booing Max Pacioretty. So, hey, it just gets richer and richer. And he's a good dude. Pacioretty's a good dude. I think I'm starting to open my eyes here about American players who want to leave Canadian franchises to go play in the U.S. But to me, we'll see how that goes with Cole Caulfield too. But this is just, to me, I think, an absolute doozy of a trade. Nick Suzuki. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You know what I want you to do. Give me some more ideas about this. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.